Hi, welcome to my video, How to Turn Around Your Relationship in Just 90 Days. I'm relationship coach Dave Elliott, and my goal for you in this video is I'm going to give you the secret to relationship transformation. Now, if you're watching this right now, chances are your relationship's in a bit of a tough spot. Otherwise, you probably wouldn't be watching a video called How to Turn Around Your Relationship in 90 Days. You know, that's the ironic thing. As a relationship coach, people don't tend to seek us out until there's a challenge. Just like you don't call the fire department unless your house is on fire. Well, listen, no matter where you are right now, there is one secret that absolutely can turn around a relationship, and I intend to give that to you in this video. And first, I want to give you some really great news also. It is absolutely possible to turn around a relationship. I've done it for my clients, and I could potentially do it for you. In order to do that, I don't even need to have both partners on board in the beginning. Because the truth is, I'm using a principle that's timeless. In fact, it was discovered a long time ago by a man named Sir Isaac Newton. Perhaps you've heard of him. It's actually called the third law of motion. And the third law of motion states that for every action, there is an equal and opposite reaction. You probably heard that. And what that means specifically in the field of relationship is that, you know, as your partner sees true change in you, they can't help but react to your action. As they see you taking ownership, as they see you really sorry, as they see you learning a better way and showing up differently. There's also some bad news too. And the bad news is, you know, there's really no way for you to talk your way out of a problem you behaved yourself into. So what I want you to know is that if you screwed up and you're just trying to get out of trouble, I'm not the guy for you. I'm not going to be able to help you. But if you're someone who recognizes that, you know what, you really want to turn this relationship around, you really want to have it back to a good place where you're both going forward, meeting each other's needs and building something that's great, I am absolutely the guy who can and will help you. And first of all, I want to give you a really critical distinction. It's going to be so important because there's a tendency for people when they're in a bad place to continue to feel bad and beat themselves up. And the principle that's going to help you shift this right now, and I want to invite you to step into it and take it on with me, is this critical distinction. It's simply this: people do not leave people. People leave situations where they're not getting their needs met. People leave situations where they're painful. People leave situations where they think, I'm not getting my needs met today, I won't get them met tomorrow, and I'm not likely to get them met anytime, so I got to get out of this. They just want to get out of pain. So the important thing to remember is there's a huge difference in who you are and who you're being. You are not your behavior. Behavior can shift like that, especially when you learn some new strategies that are going to help you and get you to a place where you can get along a lot better and more effectively. Secondly, I want to share with you two main issues that I think happen to go wrong, especially when things are going bad. There's a lot of fighting and bickering and focusing on everything that's wrong rather than what's right. I think both partners tend to lose that polarity. Those opposites attract. That masculine and feminine tends to get really messed up and distorted. Feminine tends to go masculine, masculine gets feminine in response, and just all that bickering and stuff, and they essentially lose attraction because they lost that polarity that is so critical to attraction. Remember, opposites attract, and in order to have that attraction, you've got to have good sparks, not bad sparks. The second thing that I think is happening is basically people have, they don't understand their partner's love strategy, and that is so critical, and that's why I released my CD. I think it's a really important and quick way to learn that whole thing. A lot of people don't even know that their partner has a love strategy, but as a human behavior specialist, I'm here to tell you that every single thing you do or don't do is actually a strategy in motion. You have a strategy. The things that you like to do, that's a strategy, and you do them over and over again. The things that you assign pain to, well, that's a strategy, and most likely you probably don't do them. You're running strategies all the time for everything you do. What you buy, what you wear, what you like to do, what you pay attention to, those are all strategies, and they were formed at a specific time, and you decided you liked them, and you run them over and over and over again. So the thing I want to help you to understand is that once you understand the strategy, now you're working out of the conscious realm, and you're conscious of what you're doing, making conscious decisions rather than a bunch of unconscious choices is just going over and over again. And the reason I share that hug and kiss hierarchy is I think it's really transformational in perhaps understanding your partner's love strategy for the very first time. Because let's face it, everyone deserves to be loved the way they want to be loved. I think that's only fair. So now I hope you've decided you're going to move forward and go ahead and get that CD, because I really think it's critical to turning around a relationship and understanding your partner's love strategy. And especially if you're having a tough time right now, I want to offer you one more benefit in addition to that. That's going to make a big difference for you, but what's going to make a huge difference is to have some personal coaching right now, especially if you're having a tough time, to get you over that hump. And specifically what I can help you do is step back, see what you don't see, teach you some new distinctions, teach you some new strategies, and also work with you on a regular basis to give you the accountability to step up and go ahead and do the things you say you're committed to doing. You know, that's what makes coaching so invaluable, is that a coach sees the greatness in you even when you don't see it. They teach you skills, they give you the accountability, and they make sure that you go ahead and take action. So I want to offer you a special offer right now, four special coaching sessions that I think will make a huge difference toward getting you over the situation you're in right now. So now that being said, I want to give you now the one thing that I promised you also up front. I told you I was going to give you the one secret that turns around a relationship. You know, I ask people all the time, what do you think that is? You know, is it love? You know, people say, well, I think it's love, or maybe it's not having financial pressure, or maybe it's never fighting, or maybe it's, you know, families that are, you know, pretty much aligned and get along great. You know, I got to tell you, I don't think it's any of that. I think the secret to an amazing relationship comes down to one word. You know what that word is? That word is certainty. Certainty is one of our base needs, and I talk about it in my Serve Up Pyramid. Predictability, another word for predictability is certainty. And specifically, you know, when you talk about love, you know, every couple that's ever been together and then broken up, you can't say that they didn't love one another. A lot of times people love one another desperately, but they can't figure out a way to make it work. And the reason that is specifically is because they didn't have certain love. They weren't certain that their needs were going to be met in the way they wanted them met, when they needed them met, by the person that they really wanted to meet them. They didn't have certainty that that love wasn't going to go away. They didn't have certainty that their needs would be met, you know, from a financial perspective. They didn't need certainty. They didn't have the certainty that, you know, the family situation was in alignment and that the kids were all, you know, on board. There was certainty missing. I really think certainty is the key. And, you know, the beautiful thing is when you make a decision to step up and you say, you know what, I'm going to do whatever it takes to make my partner know that he or she is number one in my life. And I will do whatever it takes to give them the certainty to know that they are absolutely number one in my book. And I'm going to make them an absolute priority. And I'll do whatever it takes to love them the way they want to be loved, not just the way I want to give it. Well, can you imagine how much of a shift that creates in a relationship when you show up that way and you offer that kind of certainty and that kind of commitment to going forward and making a difference? That's the kind of certainty that actually translates into a legendary love for life. And that's the kind of love that I hope for you. A legendary love for life that's certain and absolutely shows up in exactly the way you need it and want it, because I think you deserve that. So there you have it. That's the secret to the 90-day turnaround. You do these things that I'm talking about, and you just do it for 90 days. You hang in there 90 days, you do it. I guarantee you'll see a huge change, especially if you're getting the coaching that goes along with it and you absolutely understand their strategy in a way that you didn't before. You do those things for 90 days, and from that point, you at least make a great decision if you want that good relationship to go forward or not. You know, and if it's not going, quite frankly, I think selection is really key also. And you know, you'll know after 90 days whether you can turn it around or whether you can't. And, you know, for my money, I'm thinking that you can do it, because I believe that you absolutely can do it. If you're committed, if you love your partner, what will you do for them? You'll do anything. And I know you'll get to that place where you can absolutely turn it all around. So, this is relationship coach Dave Elliott, and I'm saying I wish for you a legendary love for life. Thanks very much, and best wishes.